I want you all to know, before we start, that I had to re-record this entire video at 1 a.m. in the morning. Just putting it out there. How does a stupid, lazy, 14-year-old in his PJs by Providence impoverished and squalor start talking about his favorite thing ever? I don't know. Probably by some flimsy connection to Hamilton. So, Hamilton. Everyone knows that it's incredible, but I don't care. This is my channel and I do whatever I want. So I decided I wanted to gush about Hamilton, something everyone does, but god damn it, I don't care. Besides, no one besides me is stupid enough to make a long video about every single song in the entire soundtrack, so it's original enough. Besides, it's not like someone ranked 350 plus songs in a show or piece of media. Because that would be actually insane. The only change I made is that I lumped King George's songs together as one, and I combined the cabinet battles as well. So with that, let's start with the worst Hamilton song. I feel like no one talks about how bad Meet Me Inside is. It might actually be the only bad song in this entire list, because at least place 41 is not weird. This is just a strangely produced mess. It's shoehorned in right in between 10 Duel Commandments and that would be enough. And maybe that's why I don't hear many people talking about it, but even for the 90 seconds it plays for, it really overstays its welcome. There are really no highlights to this entire song because the main beat is just so awkward to listen to. I really don't get the appeal. Oh well, at least the lyrics are still fantastic. Okay, now this one everyone hates for a good reason. Burr Refuted is not the worst thing in the world, but it's just kind of boring. Nothing in the orchestration is really interesting, it's kind of boring, the singer's kind of annoying, and it doesn't really build any tension. Honestly, that's probably the biggest problem with this entire song. They could have had a really interesting song about the conflict between the British and the Americans, but instead it just came out mediocre. And it's really the only song that could have tackled this topic head on. Still, it's not bad. I like hearing Hamilton and Samuel Seabury, or whatever the hell his name is, sing at the same time with conflicting melodies. It's not bad. Again, the songs near the bottom aren't bad, they're just forgettable. Like, no one listens to Schuyler Defeated and really loves it. There's 1,000 songs just like it, and it barely even matters to the story. Its only real purpose is to show the growing political tension between Burr and Hamilton, but like, it lasts for a minute, so it doesn't really even do that. Blow Us All Away might deserve to be a little bit higher, but to me it's just another song that I don't really think about that much. The whole whistling motif doesn't really speak to me, and the rest is just inferior in every way to Alexander Hamilton. It serves its purpose well in the story, and it leads to some much better songs later on, but it's just not that great on its own. It sucks that you can't just skip it, but I guess it's not that long compared to some other songs. What does this song even mean? I mean, it's not as experimental as the others lower down, but like best of wives and best of women. Like, it's just such an awkward line. Why would you say that? Someone in the comments just like, I don't know, explain to me why this matters right now. Like, what does best of wives and best of women have to do? Like, when has Eliza shown that she's good at being a woman? Like, I've watched this pro shot like 10 million times and I still can't figure this out. The story of Tonight is one of the better songs in Hamilton, but its reprise, much like Blow Us All Away, is desperately trying to be the original and failing hard. The beatboxing edition is weird and completely ruins the point of what's supposed to be a beautiful song, and overall it can't stand on its own 2 feet. It is the best of the forgettable songs though, because at least it's mildly funny. I mean, this show isn't really known for its comedic weight, but like, I don't know, it made me chuckle. Believe it or not, we're actually already getting to the songs that I usually don't skip when I listen to the soundtrack. A Winter's Ball is certainly nothing special, but it's a cute, mildly entertaining filler song that transitions nicely from Right Hand Man to Helpless. If it was longer, maybe it could have left an impact, but at the same time, I just kind of feel like these are just meant to be transition songs and nothing more. Still, it's decent for what it is. The Addams Administration is yet another transition song. Are you seeing a pattern? But this one is slightly better than A Winter's Ball, if only because it seems to have a lot more energy. Plus it got a swear word, which mean it more for cool kid. Stay Alive Reprise was one of the hardest to place on the entire list. It's definitely a nice death scene, but the reason it ends up so low is because it has one simple weird motif. The I know parts. It really takes me out of it, and I kinda hate it whenever it comes in. Still, while I don't love the song, it's obviously really powerful, and definitely made me tear up a bit. Ah yes, the song that started the "that would be enough" motif that dominates the entire show. Already that places it higher than a lot of the other songs, but alone it's kind of forgettable and boring. Pushes the story forward well enough though. Okay, this one just pisses me off. Everyone raves about Aaron Burr like it's an incredible piece of theater, but honestly, it's in the lower half. I mean, it does include a lot of information, but it's just not that catchy. In the context of the show, sure, it's pretty good, but alone, it's not even that fun to listen to. Honestly, it would be a few spots lower if it didn't start the Smile More motif. Hurricane is definitely an outlier. I don't think it's really that controversial to say that Lin-Manuel Miranda is not a great singer, and he's the only person here, so there's no room for cool harmonies. But I still enjoy this. At least he can act really well, and he portrays Hamilton with really good emotion. Plus the rain effect in the bridge is pretty great. I have no idea what instrument they use though, like a synth or something, I don't know. Now we're getting to the songs that I never skip. We know it's a bit simple instrumentally, but these harmonies are incredible, and it moves the story along really well. Way better than its Reprise. It's the complete opposite of We Know, where the instruments are incredible, but the harmonies are kinda basic. Still, there's so many incredible moments, like when the music stops when Lawrence sacrifices himself for Hamilton, and the bass plays, or the way the lyrics expertly mesh with the track. It's honestly amazing. Like I said, I just lumped all the King George's songs because they're extremely similar. Jonathan Groff is inspiring, but the songs are just good, not great. They are really funny, but at this point I've heard them so much that I'm kind of bored with them, which is why they couldn't be placed higher. I'm so conflicted by the Renolyds Pamphlet, because like, obviously it's not the most lyrically great or prettiest or most fun. Honestly, it's more simple than some of the songs lower on this list. But the reason I put it so relatively high is because it's so unique. This song has so much energy to it and perfectly encapsulates the big twist, I'd argue, of the entire show. It's just so bombastic and so fun to listen to. How could you not love it? The perfect send-off for George Washington. I will say, the performance is way stronger in the pro shot than the cast recording, which makes the song way better to listen to in the pro shot, but even alone it's awesome, and if it weren't for the very tough competition, I'd say it ranked even higher. The cabinet battles are the highlight of the show for a lot of people, but I never really saw that. They are really lyrically interesting, but there's not much going on other than that. Even comedically, it's not the show's strongest. This might honestly be Daveed Diggs' second strongest performance in the entire show. The jazzy background fits his voice so well, and it's just so interesting to listen to. Definitely one of the most unique in the entire show. The two best singers in Hamilton get their own song together? Well, it's not either of their best songs, but I still think their voices and the harmonies make up for its repetitiveness. Plus it has you screaming just listening to them if you're rewatching the pro shot. Something I've never done, by the way. I've never rewatched this pro shot. Right Hand Man might be a little low, but it's kind of similar to a lot of songs coming up, which is why it kind of falls a bit in this ranking. Still, it's got George Washington's vocals and really interesting foreshadowing. I really wish I could place Nonstop 10 spots higher, but even though it has some amazing rapping, it's so long and has so much filler, I can't really rank it higher than some of the other incredible songs we have left. Hamilton just has so many bangers that it's hard to rank really good songs high. Aww, this is so pretty. I love the two dads talking about their kids. Oh yeah, and it's also well sung and produced and all that. Incomparable to its Reprise. I find this one totally gorgeous and probably one of the most easy to listen to for anyone who hasn't seen the show. Also, what the hell are you doing? Go on Disney Plus and watch it, you idiot. Most movies are $5 to rent anyway, stop complaining. Christopher Jackson is incredible in this underrated gem. The snare coming in as the piano fades out gives me chills, and it perfectly establishes the horrors Hamilton will endure. I love the tragedy that's felt when Washington explains his big mistake, and the beautiful ensemble that doesn't feel like it overstays its welcome. It's nice to have beautiful ballads in a sea of high-energy music. Finally, Burr and Hamilton's conflict has reached a boiling point, and they're ready to face off in an epic duel. The passive-aggressive letters each of them send to each other as it becomes more apparent that there's a big problem between them is certainly a highlight, but my favorite part is how Burr stops the music as he challenges Hamilton to a duel. Then the main line comes through as if mocking them. No, it's not as good as what follows it, but this is definitely one of the most iconic and talked about songs. What really makes this song stand out is the staging. It's just so well put together. This might be a hot take, but I think The World Was Wide Enough is better than 10 Duel Commandments. I mean, it helps that it has the best singer in the entire show, but I think this one feels more iconic because it depicts the tragedy of Hamilton's story. Hamilton's death is perfect, and I wouldn't change a thing about it, so maybe that's why this one narrowly edges out the former. One of the best ensemble songs. It really feels like a big, high-energy dance song that shows Burr's inner feelings. Wait For It is a lot of people's number one, but I don't think it's all that great. Sure, the song's singers and melodies are perfect, but it doesn't really add that much to the show itself, and it's kinda lost in the mix as a result. But obviously, since the melodies and singers are perfect, it had to end up very high. The Battle of Yorktown utilizes every built-up war motif and adds its own militaristic spin on it. While it's not as graphic with its depiction of war as Right Hand Man, it is so rewarding watching America beat the British. This song did everything it needed to while also being catchy as hell. This is not only tragic and has the best singer in the entire show, but also makes me hate the main character. Yes, it can get a bit boring, but I think the piano line is genius, and the song carries a lot of emotion that's well deserved because Eliza deserved better than this cheating, backstabbing. Maybe it's stupid to put Helpless over Burr, but this song carries a different type of emotional weight to it. Young Eliza is so adorable and bubbly and innocent that you can't help but fall in love with her personality. It keeps consistently high energy, which some songs struggle with, and it's honestly really fun. It appropriately feels like these two are genuinely in love. Too bad Mr. Douchebag had to ruin it. Why didn't you say no to this? Seriously, Hamilton, just say no to this. All of this. Just say no. Washington on Your Side has even more eeriness than what we saw in Say No to This and Your Obedient Servant, but what makes this one even better than both of them is how it shows the hatred everyone feels for Hamilton. I feel like it makes Hamilton's endorsement of Jefferson even more shocking, and Burr's duel even more tragic. I also love the combination of the best rapper and the best singer in this diamond in the rough. The best raps in the entire pro shot. They're so high energy and fun, you can't help but learn all of the painstakingly long lyrics. My shot fits Lin-Manuel Miranda's voice so well, and it's one of the only songs that I think he does a really noteworthy job. Sometimes the raps are a bit lengthy without changing, but it's overall a fantastic song. Alright, these next 7 are some of my favorite songs of all time. They were really hard to separate, so just keep that in mind as we move on, okay? Guns and Chips is the most underrated song in the history of Hamilton. I mean, I know this list is extremely controversial, but Jesus, why can't I find someone who likes this song half as much as I do? It's got the perfect balance of singing, transitioning into Daveed Diggs' best performance in the entire show. Don't find me, you know it's true. And then the music immediately stops so Washington can deliver this beautiful slow portion. Oh my god, it is the best transition song in the entire show. And it's one that I continuously re-listen to. I feel like Schuyler Sisters could have easily been number 2 had they just changed the whole thing about Angelica awkwardly putting in an anti-sexism speech in the middle of what's supposed to be an impactful piece of art. Which is honestly my only problem with the show as a whole. It's just distracting. Even with these annoying lyrics though, this song is absolutely fantastic. It's got one of my favorite drum beats of all time, not just in Hamilton. It's got some of the best harmonies this show has to offer. It's got so much style. Schuyler Sisters is just fantastic. I would like it a lot more without the almost deal-breaking problem, but it's not a huge deal in the grand scheme of things, I guess. I just kinda dread it whenever it comes on. This was honestly my biggest surprise re-listening to Hamilton. I cannot believe that one of the least iconic songs from Hamilton cracked the top 5. The election of 1800 is so underrated and I just don't understand. The choir is insane, the tension is incredible, and even though we know the outcome, it's still shocking. It's crazy to me that this song did not end up being just another filler song that's thrown near the end so we can get to the great stuff. But instead, they went all out, further proving that this show was a labor of love more than anything I've ever experienced. This might honestly be my most re-listened to Hamilton song because there's just so many iconic moments. My only issue is the slow build-up only to cut to the well if it is an Aaron Burr line. Kinda annoys me more than it should, and at this point in the show, it's starting to become an overused motif. But that's definitely not a major issue. This is still a fantastic song that might honestly deserve to be higher. The first song in the entire show that made me understand what epic songwriting truly was. Everyone knows that this is a jaw-dropping opening number, and even if it starts a bit slow, it makes up for it with literally everything else in the entire song. Seriously. Everything else is perfect in this song. Obviously, my favorite thing is how this song fits nearly 10,000 things in 6 minutes. But honestly, the second best part is the production. Everything about the way that this song is composed is so smart. From the way it keeps stopping to show off the vocals, to the way everything is so minimalistic. A trademark of the best Hamilton songs. I, like everyone else, love this opening number. In fact, it's probably the best opening number to any show I've ever seen. No, you know what? It is the best opening number to any show I've ever seen. Shut up, Road to Hell, I'm not talking to you. I'm sorry, never mind, I love that song. I almost put this song like 3 spots lower, but in the end, I feel like The World Was Wide Enough hits a bit harder than the opening. It's not that often that a song in this soundtrack really hits you with a punch like this one. It's just really emotional to hear what Eliza has done with the rest of her life. And it's really nice that they were able to fit everything she did in a musical that takes place after they really happened. This song includes the best singer in this show to sing, and while she's great, it's really everyone that pushes the song over the edge for me. George Washington stands out. I mean, obviously, he's the best singer in this show, but this time he really pushes it, and it shows. The harmonies this time are a lot more eerie and beautiful than the bombastic harmonies before, which makes sense since this is a sad song, but I really felt like I was listening to something completely different compared to Schuyler Sisters, for example. This is easily one of the most unique and special standouts in this soundtrack, and a contender for number 1, though there's still 2 more left to go. I will never be satisfied with this song. It is just way too good. Like, this song literally puts me in tears with its lyrical genius, and I can't even express into words how magical it is. The rapping while Angelica spits fire bars at us while explaining the situation a million miles an hour, and using an incredible retro modern beat that's put together with the best singer in the entire show. This is not just another Hamilton song. It is an unforgettable magic carpet ride. It is a showcase of Lin-Manuel Miranda. It is the opposite of Meet Me Inside. Miranda basically took Helpless and turned it into a mature, adult, serious dissection into a woman conflicted by the battles that haunt her. Seriously, I can't think of a single thing wrong with this song. This is truly what happens when Lin-Manuel Miranda's genius is allowed to be fully realized in a ridiculously inhuman song that no one dislikes. I've been struggling on how to talk about It's Quiet Uptown for what feels like 75 years now. I've pretty much come to the conclusion that I'm too bad at grammars and English things to even attempt it, but whatever. It's Quiet Uptown is the best song in Hamilton, and I think it's pretty obvious as to why. Outside of the context of the show, it's an absolutely gorgeous combination of the best splash cymbal effects and lyrics I've seen in anything, combined with the greatest singer in the entire show, all wrapped around an incredible choir. Inside the context of the show, it holds so much emotional devastation, not in just one way, but 2. No spoilers if you're dumb enough not to have already seen this musical already, but let's just say I was thoroughly sobbing when I saw this song an 8th time. Nothing is awkward, nothing feels like it's overstaying its welcome. Everything is simply perfect. Just the way the choir sings forgiveness combined with Eliza's one line in the entire song is unbelievably powerful. Without question, this is the best musical number of any show or movie or anything I have ever seen. Well, except When You Believe, maybe. Yes, I just gushed about Hamilton for X minutes, even though everyone already knows how amazing it is, okay? Come on, this is what people wanted on Instagram for some reason.
So yesterday, my family got Disney Plus to watch Hamilton. My dad stayed up all night watching Mickey Mouse cartoons. Then today, I heard some music, looked outside, and saw this.